Okay everyone, so for this video, this live stream, what I'm going to do here is try and balance this propeller, this fan. Um, so in the earlier live stream here, I completed the assembly of the motor to the bracket, setting the height and bolting it to the bracket itself. So then I attached the boss and then the propeller, and then I test run it, and then it fell on the floor the second time. But that's all sorted now. So what I'm going to do in this live stream is I'm going to demonstrate how we could balance this propeller. So basically what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add weights, and I'm going to start the actual motor again and determine how bad the imbalance is by the bench shaking. So we don't want the bench to shake. Currently at the minute the motor, this propeller is way out of balance. So here we go, let's put this on the stand, or sorry, this phone. So things can go wrong in live streams, as they have done in the last two, but we'll try and keep this one we'll try and stop anything from happening, as in this motor falling off the bench. So in this live stream I will be demonstrating how to balance this propeller, and I'm going to use the bench as the sort of way of monitoring it. So I'm just going to put the coat on. I need cable ties, I need bolts, and there's two ways you can do this. Well, you can add this. This is actually mild steel, so I can add weights to it. So at this point I've got a bolt in it, but that bolt's not required because at that point, because the bench is going like this. Okay. So I'm going to get everything here. I'm going to drink this soup and then I'm going to start. So we've got two M10 bolts, we've got washers for weights, and we've got nuts to hold the bolts in here at this point, and then I can move them about to see how bad this imbalance is. So the motor is clamped to the bench properly this time, so it can't fall, but you will see the bench shaking because there's an imbalance there. So I'm just going to drink this soup and I'm going to get started here. I need gloves. I need another pair of gloves. So, where did they go now? Okay, got them. So, as I say, look at the shape of that coat, degrees. Okay, so what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to try and take the imbalance out of this propeller. So, basically I'm going to add weights to it, and then I'm going to switch it on and off, maybe about 50 times. Well, I don't know about 50 times, but I probably will. I'm going to try and, this here's manufactured, handmade, not by me obviously, I never made this, it's very rough. So this plate here is just cut with a grinder. And if I bring the phone down here and look at this, you can see how it's all hagged and rough and ready. So what I'm going to do in this live stream is I'm going to try and take the shake out of the bench, because the vibration within the propeller is going down through the motor and shaking the ducting system and the Chippy, and it's just very noisy. So what I'm going to do is try and resolve it now. Try, and I say try. It might work, it might not work. So the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to cable tie washers to the propeller, and hopefully they'll come loose. No, they won't. The cable tie will keep them tight. I'm also going to get no, I'm not going to get a magnet. I'm going to use the bolt, these M10 bolts. I'm just going to show the vibration here first. So, what do we see? I need to make this safe, so I'll bring this around here. So I don't have a switch, I just have this, and the plug in the socket. So here we go, hopefully my soup doesn't fall. So see how the bench is vibrating. I want to look at the motor there now. So within the Chippy, because this face is bolted to the side of the housing, it shutters the whole thing right down into the canopy within the Chippy itself. from the attic. This is usually in the attic. Well, it is in the attic. So I'll drink this sip and I'll start. So this is very hard. It's going to be very hard to do, but I'll do my best here. Okay. I should be better with a seat here. Okay, so I'm going to start off right with an M10 bolt. It's probably far too heavy, right? But there's no way of knowing, really, unless you had a balancing machine to put this propeller onto. But you'd also think if you turn this and the heavy bit would stop at the bottom, the heavy part of the propeller. But that's not going to be the case, like, because you're turning a stator and a motor, like. So if I now get this M10 bolt, right, we'll place it on this way. I'm just going to switch it about and see if it takes this imbalance out of the motor. So I'll start it up again to show this. Make sure that's tight this time. Hello. Right. Here we go, right. So see, what do you see when it slows down? You see that shaking? It might be hard to get it out now. So, the way that whoever was last working at the old motor over there, what they done is they jammed a piece of metal up from like a plyboard within the attic up against the motor, the rear end of it, to try and stop it from shaking, vibrating. But it was still really bad. Really bad. So we're going to see what happens here, right? This is probably going to be worse at the start, but as you can see, there is an imbalance there. So we're going to put it on here first, anywhere. I might go on here first, let me see. So what we want is, see the way that's fallen to the bottom, so that's obviously far too heavy. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to spin this about 3 times, and I'm going to see if it stops in the same place every time. So I'll get a screwdriver mark it here. Hopefully it doesn't rain on us, or on me. So mark it here, right, first. Just a mark to get a look at it. So whenever you see where it stops, if that mark stops at the top, it means it'll be heavy to the bottom. Or if the mark keeps stopping at the same place, what do we see? So we'll forget about this mark now, right? And we're just going to mark it here. You know what I'll do? I'll get a piece of masking tape. Right. So what I'm going to do, right, is just going to put a wee line here. I'll suck that back in there. A wee indicator, right? And we'll just stick that there. We'll put the point at the top. So that's where that's where it stopped there when I spun it. So what do you see what happens again? If it stops at the bottom again, it means probably more likely it means it's heavy to the bottom. It's not going to, you see. Well, there you go. Look, it does. Look. There you go. So that's telling me I would be better to put a weight here this side, 180 degrees out, right? So that worked. But I'm not going to put a bolt there because a bolt's too heavy. So what do you see if I put a bolt on there now, look? We'll put it on across in this mark. I think the bolt's going to be too heavy, but we'll try it. So what's the worst that can happen? The whole thing can go like around again. At least the bolt's not going to come off. So what I spin it now, do you see? What else? See if it was too heavy at this point, I could remove a bit of material there, but looks, we would like them to go level maybe. Look, see the way it's falling downhill now with the bolt? I'll turn it on to try, right? And if it's too much, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to attach these washers instead. one by one at a time. And we're going to try and remove the imbalance. I don't know if this is going to work, but it's better than doing nothing. So what do we see? This could be terrible now. Right, that's worse. So it's probably too heavy, right? Look at the shakes, that thing. Right. You don't want to look at my hand. Break your finger very easy here. That's not the first time I broke my finger here with a fan. I actually broke with it. I broke, where is it? That one that's bent with a fan blade before. It wasn't on the car, it was on the house. I was using it to extract dust from a sand on a dry line wall. So, we're going to take this out, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add cable ties, or not, washers, using cable ties. And I'm going to leave it so I can keep using the same cable tie. I'm going to have to unclip it. I don't want to go through a bag of cable ties here. You know what I mean? So we'll start off with one washer. I'm just going to check this pointer again. So checking the pointer and see if it stops at the bottom. I hope it does. You can sort of tell, you know, the way it goes vroom, vroom, like that. Look, see the way it's stopping at the bottom again? That's telling me it's far too heavy down here. So if I put a washer here now and cable tie this washer on the inside rather than the outside, because at least it's not going to fall off or fling, you know. Wonder if I'd be better putting the cable tie this way instead. And let's say then that this does work. What I will do is I can get the TIG welder and I can weld the washer here at 180 degrees out. I think it will work when we get the weight right. It'll help it anyway. It won't be as bad. So we'll put the washer on here. I mightn't bother. I'm in the wrong hole here too. I should be up here. Look. There now, on there. But is this going to work? It might be better on the face for demonstrating here. So my 180 degrees round. There. So if one doesn't work, I'm going to increase it to 2. So I'll leave the cable tie on too, right? There might be a wee washing noise. If this doesn't work, I'm going to release the cable tie with a screwdriver. And I'm going to add a second one. Okay, so let's try it again. This should be better now, unless the washer's too heavy. Oh, listen to that thing. Still a wobble in it. I don't know if it's as bad now. No, it's not, because when it slows down, no washer there, the motor goes like this at the back. Now it's still doing it there. It's not too bad, but if I get that cable tie cut, they can keep her going. The problem is, see if I cut this cable tie, it'll be very hard to get it, we'll cut it there. Okay, so where did it stop? See the way that they stopped? That was me with the cable tie. What do you see where they stopped now with the one washer on it? So these are 16mm stainless steel washers. We want this to stop level maybe. Trying to give us an idea that it's working. So see the way the mark's still at the bottom each time? What I spin it again? If that mark goes to the bottom again, you'd think it's too heavy at the bottom. It is, isn't it? Yes, it is. So that's telling me that this thing's too heavy at this. See if I was to draw a line from here to here. At this part of the propeller, it's telling me it's far too heavy here, and that's why the mark keeps going to the bottom. So hopefully that makes sense. So the reason I didn't give it enough momentum that time, maybe see if I spin harder. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to add a second washer. I'm going to release this cable tie. And hopefully the mark goes to the bottom. That's telling us we're on the right track here. There. See, so it's still heavy at the bottom. Isn't that strange? So at least we know, right? So I'm putting the washer on here each time, right? So I want to release the cable tie to save the cable tie. That's the only reason I'm doing this. Because we'll go through a packet of cable ties here. Okay. So what I'm going to do now, right, is going to turn it on one more time here. I'm going to do this first. I'm just going to see where the mark stops again. Obviously it's going to be at the bottom. So this is rough and ready. This is manufactured by some company. See the way the marks now, it falls back down here, it goes back down. What I could do in the end up is I could shave this part, the lower half of this circle here, but the handiest way around this would be to add weights. The same way you would on your car wheel, car alloy. So I'm going to add 2 washers this time at the same position, and I'm going to stand beside it and turn it on. So make sure the washers are tight to the face, you know. If something goes wrong on this live stream, it'll be the 3rd live stream that something's went wrong recently. Because obviously this is going at 1420 over, what is it again, 1425 RPM. So it's a 4-pole motor. Let's try it again. Let's hope. No, we know what it'll do. I'll spin it first. Just so we see where the white masking tape goes to. So we want this shake out of it. We want these stopping sort of. Look, it's dull at the bottom. Isn't that strange? It must be really heavy at one side. But it's getting better. I think if we get these 2 level. Ooh, it's starting to look better, you know. If it stops here and there and everywhere, it means it's okay. It means I've compensated for the. What do you see where it stops now? So see the way the marks now is moving about and it's stopping here and everywhere. It's not stopping at the bottom. So I might chance turning it on. You'd think it's going to be much more in balance now, wouldn't you? So look at that. So let's try it on. It shouldn't be rough because it's getting closer. The white mark's not stopping at the bottom here. So again. So what I might do if this does work, I might weld these with the TIG. This is actually my style. This mark's still at the bottom. Not at the bottom, but 7 o'clock. It's just a bit of messing about here to get this right. So this time it stopped at 11 o'clock. So I think it's good, you know. I'm going to try it. But this is dodgy, I know. But give me a second, tighten. Right. You'll hear the whoosh of the cable tie just. And hopefully it doesn't fall off the bench. Oh, what? Big difference. Big difference. You can tell the bench is not shaking. Isn't that amazing what the 2 washers can do? Incredible. Right. I'm going to slow down. It might be still a bit of an imbalance there when you see the bench. Not too bad, but that helped. That's amazing how well it helped. So I'll just demonstrate it, right, with the 2 washers off it. That worked so well, I can't believe it. So what I'm going to do here now is I might weld these on with the MIG or TIG. See the company that made this. It's my style, so it's obviously made years ago. It's very botched job, very rough. So that worked so well, and I haven't tried this any other time. This is just done for this live stream. So what I might do now is I might get lighter washers, or I might try putting on a 3rd washer to see if we can fix this even better. So what do we see? I'm opening the cable tie because I don't want to waste cable ties. I love my cable ties. So we're trying a 3rd one now, right? You have to still make sure that the latch is working on the cable tie, or these washers will go shooting into the air. Because that's the 3rd time I've released that, isn't it? Right, so that's 3 washers now, 180 degrees out, right? So, it might be worse now. So let's do this 3 times. Just see where it stops. So the pointer at the start of this live stream was stopping at 6 o'clock. Now it's, we'll see. We have to see where it stops. So see now the way it's still at the bottom here, but that's okay. It might stop up here next time. What do we see? Three washers works really well anyway. So see the way it's stopping now at 1 o'clock. That's telling me that them 3 washers is still doing their job. So again, we'll go again. For anybody new on that wants me to explain what I'm doing here, ask me and I'll do it again. No problem. So see the way the white mark now stopping here and there and everywhere, and then it doesn't fall back on itself. That's telling me that them 3 washers is actually really good. So that just shows you how bad, how unbalanced this propeller is. So we'll start this up. Hold on, I'll just do it again. So the very start of the live stream I demonstrated how the white pointer there just kept stopping at 6 o'clock. Now it's stopping here and there and everywhere. And let's say at the start of this live stream and it stopped, I spun it and it stopped here, it started to creep back down. So the bottom half of this propeller is too heavy. And there's a serious imbalance in it, and the bench is going like this. So here we go one more time, and then I'll start it with 3 washers. So I probably will weld these on the inside at this point somewhere, nice and neat. So the pointer's at 12. But I see where it stops now. Pointer's at 7. Now this stops dead, which is good. Doesn't move, it doesn't start going falling downhill both sides. Pointer's at 3. We'll do it again, then we'll start it. Pointer's 7. Right, that's really good. I think it's actually better than having 2 washers on it. So what do we see if we start it up here? Just make sure this cable tie is not going to let go. Now you will hear a whoosh because of the cable tie going through the air. Right, that's actually worse with 3 washers, believe it or not. So I'm going to go back down to 2 and you'll see a big difference here. But 2 washers is better than none. So there's another way I can sort this, is I can bring out the MIG welder, I can add the same amount of material as the washer. I can keep tacking it in that spot, and I won't need the washers at all. It's, you know, it's not stainless, it's my style, I believe. Let me see. Is it stainless? This here looks like it's rusted. Maybe it is stainless. I can bring out the TIG welder. So I'm going to put on 2 this time again, because 3 is no good. I'm just releasing the cable tie. Right, 2. Look at the shape of that, and there's only fell in there. Right, I'm going to put a 2 on at this mark. Well, we're going this way. What way did we do this last time? In there, didn't we? Like so. There we go. That cable tie is still working. That's the 5th time or so it's been released, right? So what do I spin it now? See where the pointer stops. Thank you for the gift membership. Right, what do you see? So the pointer now is at 8 and it doesn't start going back downhill again. So what do we see now? We'll do it a couple of times again. Don't forget to like the video, please. Be bit of support. So white mark pointer stopping at here and there and everywhere which we want. So at 4 o'clock. This makes a big difference having these 2 washers on. So what I might do is I might use one washer and make up the rest with weld. So see the way it's stopping at 8? This propeller is not obviously, it might be part of a propeller that was made by a manufacturer, a professional company, but it's been modified because this plate here on the outside is botched. It's cut here and there and chopped. It's been cut by a grinder, roughly. So we want this motor to turn clockwise. In the live stream I done at the start of the day, what I done is I bolt this new motor onto the bracket and added the propeller and the boss fitting and all. So here we go. So you can see there how big of a difference the two makes. So my hand on the motor here, if I was to set a glass of water there, I don't have a glass. I might do that. I'll turn this off first. Right, I'll turn this off first because I don't want it to go on the floor. 2 minutes. I'm back. 1 minute. Right, see this pint of water. Right. So, what I'm going to do for the people that just arrived, I'm going to cut this off and I'll just use a new cable tie now. So if I turn this motor on, this propeller, this is what I built this morning, right? So if I turn this on now, this glass of water is obviously going to shake like mad. See the way it's not too bad, but if I slowly turn the motor off, you'll see the imbalance. Do you see how bad it is? There's flies in that glass. Right. If I now cable tie. So what I done then is I go through this and spin it and find out where the propeller keeps stopping. And gradually, well, when it slows down here, what do we see? It kept stopping at one point. Hopefully it doesn't now. That'll make me out to be a liar. And if it does pass it, it will fall back down. So the propeller's out of balance big time. What do we see where it stops here? So I've went through adding a bolt initially, but obviously it's too heavy. So you can see there when it's coming uphill, it slows down and it goes vroom, vroom. See the way now? And it's going back down. Look, look, look. So far too heavy at the lower half of the propeller here. So what I've done is I added a bolt first initially to see if it worked, but it was too heavy. So now I have a line now 180 degrees at this point, and what I'm doing here is removing the imbalance. So if I attach this and I use the glass of water, hopefully it doesn't rain on my head. Just feel it starting again. I need to cut the cable tie or it'll be like sound like a helicopter. So I'll cut it there so I can release it again, right? Because I don't want to go through the cable tie. So if I start this now, you should notice that this white pointer doesn't stop in the bottom if I do it a random amount of times, number of times. So here we go. I'll put the glass of water on too. So you can see there, you can't see the difference. The water's not as jumpy about, but what do you see when I took it out? See what? It's not as bad. It's not as bad now. What do you see where it stops? Might get another wee box of washers and experiment here. So what do we see? Taking ages this time, isn't it? I think it's probably because it's more in balance. It's not going woof, woof, woof. So this is something I put together this morning for a local Chippy. There's the old motor over there. So what I'm doing now is I'm balancing the propeller. So what do we see where it stops? I didn't want them to go out there now. So see the way the white mark now is at 6? I'm going to spin it again in my hand. We'll keep these washers here. So we want this white mark stopping everywhere, not just the bottom. Again, it's 5 o'clock. So them washers might be a wee bit too light, we'll see. But adding this one, adding the third one's what's that, a 16mm stainless, is too heavy. So see the way now it's still sort of at the lower half, that's telling me them two washers might be too light. So there. So we'll see how it goes here, and I'll just might have to add like a smaller washer. So I see that thing. If I put this one on, it's okay, but there's more vibration in the motor. You know what I'll do? Let's give it a wee quicker. I'm going to need to get maybe 12mm washers or something, because that 16, the third 16 is too heavy. Right, see the way there now, the white mark comes up and stops. It doesn't start falling downhill, as it does with those two washers off. So that's telling me it's better balanced than the way it was. So one more time, and then I'm going to get a box of washers here, 12mm. And I'm going to add the 12mm one by one, and see if we get it a wee bit better. We're going to tweak it a wee bit more. Maybe put a coat on, please, just put it in. Right, so it's still telling me that it's a wee bit too heavy to the lower half, right? So I'm going under the garage here to get washers. Bear with me 2 seconds. Okay, so I've got 12mm stainless. So what we want here is we want this white mark to start stopping more around the top half here rather than stopping around the lower half. So we'll try it again here. I think the wee screwdriver. Where does it go? There it is. Right, there we go. So that's once it's stopped there, right? So let me go again. I'm still going to add a couple anyway to see what it does. So, looking at these washers now, right? If I look at these washers, it's coming up the top half now. If I look at these two washers and you look at this, do they look the same weight? Do they feel the same weight? These two are actually lighter than this one. This is actually quite heavy. I can feel it in my hand, right? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add one of these 10mm washers. And then we're going to add another one and see if it makes it any better. So we'll go with one first. So I just released the cable tie rather than cutting it. If I get these here sitting, like that. So what do I go again now? So we're hoping for the white mark to come up to the top more, a higher chance. So that's one at the bottom. You can see a flat button still at that point there, huh? There. So there's one at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, so that's good. 2 o'clock, we'll go again. So if I take these washers off, right, for anybody new on, I take these washers off, this propeller will keep stopping at the bottom with the white pointer at the bottom, okay? So here we go again. I'm going to start it up in 2 seconds. We're never going to get it perfect, like, but we'll get it better than it was. Just means I have to attach these some way, or add weight at the point, preferably on the inside. So there we go, 5 o'clock. Might do it in this video, you know, I might bring a welder out. 7 o'clock. It'll have to be a TIG. Right, 7 o'clock, isn't that strange? Stop in the exact same spot. You see all the crap on the veins too? There's 8 o'clock. I'd be better cleaning this first though. Hold on a moment. Look at that. Look at that crap. So that's going to add weight, that stuff, believe it or not. I should have done this first, but it's definitely going to be still an unbalance because the fat there is equal the whole way around, roughly. So see the company that made this propeller, I think when they fitted it, well, when they fixed it, they repaired it, they jammed the rear end of the motor up from the floor to keep it from vibrating. But the vibration was coming down through the Chippy. So just let me clean this and then I'll get back to that. I'm going to need to clean both sides, but this side's the worst. This side of the veins not too bad. Not strange. Must be the whoosh hitting it out the way. Once he's spinning, the stuff's clinging to this side of the face rather than this side and inside. So that's pure fat there. I was going to blast this, but I didn't bother. Probably should have. That's disgusting. We're nearly there. Nearly there. I'll turn it on and it'll go everywhere. Do you know what the best stuff for breaking that stuff down? WD-40. Oh. A lot of flying about everywhere. Eh? So that's still going to need balance. Much better now, look at that there. Look. I need to get that and lift it all later because when I'm working with the bench. So here we go, we're turned on, right? Yeah. Stuff's going to go everywhere. So that's actually, it's not like a V6 engine, but it's not too bad. See the glass spinning in the last spot. More like a, without the washers, it's like a 3-cylinder. So you can see there, it's not as bad as it was. Well, maybe it is. I think that third washer doesn't help. So what I'm going to do again is I'm going to go back to 2 washers now. Let's see if it's a difference, which I believe there is. So maybe all that fat that I took off now, we see. It doesn't need that last washer. I'm going to have to cut that this time. They have another one there. I don't. They're in the garage. There we go. Right, we're going to keep that cable tight. Let's try this again, right? With the fat removed. I smashed the like. Thank you very much. Deckard. Very kind. So this is not a project. Like, see the way the white markers fall? The pointer. So that's still out of balance, that propeller. I need that wee straw. But do you see the way it fell? It's not in the same place now. Isn't that strange? That's because I removed that fat. So what do we spin it? Do we see again here? Yeah, smash that like to help the channel. This is just something interesting I thought I would do. See the way now it's not even going to the bottom at all. So maybe the fat was the problem here. I doubt it. I doubt it. Be handy if it was. Maybe the fat was the problem. Look. To start this live stream, 20 times, 10 times, the white pointer was going to the bottom. But I'm happy if that's the case. I am happy if that's the case. I doubt it. Look, see the way it's falling to the bottom? There, look, so that's telling me it's no good. So there's a problem there. But it's back to 7 o'clock again. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to change the white pointer to 6 o'clock. And you know what I'll do? I'll mark it first. So there is an imbalance still. Right, so that's where I need to add the weight. I can't see in that pointer staying on much longer. The masking tape's kind of done. So what do we see now? So removing the fat did make a wee change there. So what do you see? It'll go back down. It's going down, it's going down, it's going down, it's going down, it's going down. To 6. So I'm going to put one washer on this time because it doesn't look as bad. I find this really interesting. You know what I'll do? I'll run it first. Makes sense, wouldn't it? So here we go. Glass of water on top, pint of water. Keep the fingers back. And away we go. You know something? That's actually running better since I removed the fat, you know. What do you say if I put my hand on it here? Not on it. So the vibration coming up my arm now sort of feels like using a baby jackhammer. But I'll tell you one thing, there's a big difference there. So the fat removed. So what do we see when it stops? You'll notice it more. Look. You can see the imbalance when it's running slow. So what I'm going to do is see where it stops and I'm going to add this washer. So thank you for watching, everyone. What do we see? It's not a project, but it's just an interesting video that something I'm working on. So here we go. What do we see where it's going to stop this time? Is it going to stop at the new marker? If I spray more of this in, it'll break down that out fat. Does it go to the bottom, is it? What do you reckon? I think it might. You can see it going vroom, vroom, vroom. Like a washing machine with clothes on it. It's heavy at this point. So it starts going harder here and then slows down, coming uphill, it goes harder. Oh. Oh, 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 oh. The top that time, but I think the problem is the weight's sitting at the 12, so what do we see again? the end of the day, it's connected up to a starter and a motor. It's not going to be completely free. So what do you see here, look? See, it's moving, but not too bad. So, look, it started to go more there. So if I just stop it, look, it's away again itself. So I'm going to add this washer now, 180 degrees away from the pointer, right, and it stops. So it's roughly 6 o'clock, so I'll put the weight here, right? And I think this should make a bit of a difference with the fat removed too. And I'll have to attach this permanently, or even soften the same volume, same type of material, stainless. So we're going to go now, just spin up our hands here. So what do you see, it doesn't come back downhill, right? So that looks good. Just thinking, would I get away with welding that there? I didn't look inside the housing, the Chippy, you see. So now it's not really falling back on itself. So that's telling me the washer's helping. One washer now. It's amazing how removing the fat, you know, played a part to this. So see the way it's stopping now and it's not going back downhill. It's stopping in random places this time. So what's telling me it's more in balance. So it's 6 o'clock, so it's definitely not going to go back on itself. What do we see? I'll go the other way. 2 maybe. See there last time? See the way it went a wee bit this time, but it stopped? So that means that the washer's helping. So what have we turned on? With the pint of water. And you should notice a difference here. Like. If you don't, it might be very hard to see. Certainly. But there we go. Watch my arm in that cable tie. Watch. So I think there's a big difference there. Yeah, there definitely is a difference there. I know the glass is just because of the wee vibrations. It's moved floating on top of the water here. Top of that label, what do we see? A big difference there. Big difference. Look how the water is really not vibrating. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stop it. So when it slows down, you will maybe see a bit of an imbalance. It's actually not bad. Considering it's only strapped to the bench, it's not that tight. But so that's where I'm going to attach that washer now. I'm going to tack it on with a TIG welder. Okay. So you're going to have to bear with me. I'm going to have to bring the welder out here. The welder is sitting on the under somewhere. I'll put the motor in. So I'm going to see if this is stainless first because it's covered in fat. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tack it on there. And hopefully when I install this into the Chippy tonight, there won't be vibration coming down through the, what do you call it, the ducts into the canopy within the Chippy. So what I'll do is I'll bring the welder out and I'll clean this first. So removing the fat allowed us to remove one of the washers. So I'm going to bring the welder out here. Just bear with me. It's one day out here today, but I only need to put 2 tacks in this. I'm going to check that this is stainless first. See, obviously there's no rust on it, but there might be no rust on it because it's covered in wax. Or not wax, what do you call that stuff? Fat? Yeah. Yup. Hold on, I'll get this welder out, and I need to make sure I don't leave it all, what do you call it? Grease. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to grind this first. I'm going to get my grinder. I'm just hoping that this is not going to be too tight to the what do you call it, the housing that it sits into. I don't think it will, and if it is, I'll just beat that box back on the inside, and I'll take the propeller back about 3mm, 5mm even. So as I say, I need to bring the tag out. Not going to be easy. But I get my glasses here. This might take me about, there's the rain. This might take me 5 minutes because of the gas bottle and everything needs brought out. So there's where I need the washer. So there's where I need to clean, right? Where do I have it again? Bang on 180 degrees. That's my thing. Here's part. That's definitely my style. The magnet. How strong it is. But I could still weld it with a tag. So, rather than getting the MIG welder out here, it's too heavy. So I'm going to bring a TIG welder out instead. And I hope it doesn't rain because it's going to wreck my tools. So just give me a couple of minutes here. I'll bring the welder out here. I'm going to put that on there. So I need a shifter. Oh dear. Oh dear, dear. So the welder's still indoors, thankfully. So we're just going to weld the stainless washer on it. At that point, I'm out of breath. Need a pair of ice cups. Right, we'll clamp us here. What do you say? That's 180 degrees around. Maybe. Oh, you bit more this way. We'll keep it down a wee bit so it's not proud, right? We don't need that magnet on there no more. Whew. What I'll do is I'll put 2 tacks on it, right? Right, okay, so there's a problem. We'll tack it to the bottom. I'll lower the camera down here. Phone. So we'll be welding at 80 amps. 60 or 70 maybe. Bear with me. Starting in 60 seconds. Need a drink of water. Set the welder up. 80 amps. So, because I'm welding on my steel here, right? It might sputter at me because it's rusted. So I'll take this down so you can see what I'm doing. So obviously, it's just running off there now because I have the air clamp and the vice grips on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably tacking this. 2 tacks. Not too much. Thanks for the support, Deckard. So a nice sharp needle for tungsten. And I'm going to put a wee tack. Let me make sure the gas is up. I'm going to need to get a wee bit more gas because I'm out in the wind here. Hold on. I'm using a stainless 2.4mm rod. Oh. I forgot to plug my welding mask back together. And while for doing that, to save the batteries, I got flashed. I'm going to have to blink 1,000 times here. Hold on 2 seconds. I've never done that before. I forgot to connect her back up. Hold on, I blink a few times here because I'm blinded. Can't believe that happened. Right. Blinded. See stars. Hopefully you can see. Can you see alright? Right. Okie dokie. We'll go ahead. 2 big tacks. So that's one. See that fat pouring off? It smells like we're in a Chippy here. So there now, I'm going to put it... Choke me. I'm going to put it here too, right? We'll put the vice grips on as a weight to hold this down. So I can weld this. Some amount of work. There we go. So we'll put a good tack on this side. I don't know if you can see here. What do you see? What I'm doing. Nope, bad earth there. So there we have it, right? So what we have here now is a weight. When I run, there's 2 good tacks on it. That's never going nowhere. Okay, so I'm going to raise this back up now for everybody to see this thing running. So the welder I'm using to do this is a TIG welder. I have it set at 80 amps and using 2.4mm rod. So I could have brought the MIG out there, but TIG better. It's not stainless. You'd think it would be stainless, but I demonstrated there that it's my style. Because it might have been stainless back in the day when it was new, but I doubt it because why have they repaired it? So it must have been rotten. Okay. So what we have here now is this washer opposite the point there. So it's 180 degrees opposite it. It's acting as a weight to help, I wouldn't say remove completely, but it helps the imbalance within the propeller. And in turn we have this much smoother running when it's at its maximum RPM. But also when it's running slow, and when it's ramping down and ramping up, it's better with the washer on than not on. Initially at the start of the live stream, 2 washers was required. But after looking at the propeller, then the fat was much thicker than expected. When I removed the fat, after turning this quite a number of times, the pointer started stopping at 7 o'clock and not 6. So that's telling me that the fat had something to play with this imbalance. So after checking it again, then the mark kept stopping at 7 o'clock. When the mark got to 9 o'clock, it kept falling back downhill to 7, telling me that it was too heavy. So at the minute there now, you seen it stop. It stopped at 7, a wee bit after 7, and it did not go back downhill. So that should help us big time. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set the pint of water on the motor again for the final time. I'm going to read up my tools when I get this done, and I'm going to go and install this thing. Can't do a live stream obviously because I'm on a Chippy and I'm on a roof space. That's well dark. So at least we done all the technical stuff out here. So what do we check this now? I'm going to set the water on. Hopefully that this video the signal is good. Tomorrow I'm going to be installing a new router into the garage because live streams recently have been poor quality and it's affecting my projects and it's affecting me, my performance when I'm working too, because it bothers me that the live streams are not clear and people's not seeing the detail. And me being me, I'm really fussy and I have OCD and it just bothers me. I was actually thinking about calling a halt to the live streams because how bad the signal is and how bad it was annoying me. So hopefully tomorrow I get the Wi-Fi, the connection sorted, and everything goes to plan. But see over there, look, there's a router, whatever. But that there is useless. It doesn't get the signal to the shade. So what I have to do now is I have to reroute everything in the house out to the garage. Sadly, so it's just a day's work. Everything's coming tomorrow, and then I will start uploading more interesting live streams. This is not a project, this is just a repair job. So it's not something I work at. Like, somebody asked me to do a favour, I might do it, I might not. But this year I just decided to do it for somebody because they asked me to and they couldn't get nobody to do a good job. They couldn't get... So this motor over here is the old motor. This is a new motor. With that motor there's a serious imbalance and the bearings is hanging out of it. The bearings are probably hanging out of it because the imbalance is so bad on the propeller. Okay, so what do we see where it stops? So 5 o'clock, right? So we want this white mark to stop in random places rather than stopping in one spot all the time, as it was doing at the start of the video. So there's 8 o'clock and it just stopped dead. It didn't go down. It didn't creep down as it would do if this washer, this weight wasn't on it. I might take a grinder with me to the Chippy in case. I don't think it will because I think the housing's massive inside it. There will be a plate here where the air enters this propeller. There will be a housing and I just need to make sure this doesn't touch it. I don't think it will. There'll be a wee gap there. And if it does, I'll just beat the propeller on a bit. So here again, I'm going to start it up in 2 seconds and I'm going to put all my tools away because the weather is like a storm out here at times. So thank you for watching everyone anyway. Thank you for everyone liking the video. So there it stopped at 6 roughly, eh? So it's kind of 6 again, that's probably just, well, we'll see. Shouldn't be stopping there all the time. Or we need to add an extra weight. Come on, come on. Right, so I think it's stopping now in random places. You need to do one of them, what do you call it, statistical tests to see how many times it stops at the bottom and how many times it stops at the top. But obviously this is going to help matters here now. So see now it's stopping at the top. 5 day with regard to the clock. So here we go. Come on, give me my last like here. 40 likes, come on. Right, 5 o'clock. Going to start it in 2 seconds here. As soon as I get the final like, I'll start the motor. Support and all that. malarkey. Right, there we go. What's that going to? So see now how the white mark's not going back on itself. This weight's not too heavy. And the white mark's not going down the hill this way, or it's not going back on itself. It just stops dead. The washer's doing the trick. Oh dear, I'm knackered. Right, there we have it, 4 o'clock. About to start it. I'm going to read up these pills. Just for anybody that wants to know, the welder I'm using is a Sabora. I have covered it with vinyl so it's not red, but it used to be red. There's the 40th like. So what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to start it, and then I'm going to read up my tools, and then I'm going to give a wee rundown if anybody else wants to, if anybody else comes on, because I'm doing nothing anyway for another half hour. So the washer I used here was 16 mil rather than the 12. Okay, I'm going to read up my tools and then I'm going to come out again. I'll start it first for one time here. So here we go. Make sure the strap's tight. If you haven't seen, do get a look at part 2 when I was assembling this motor. Again, as on the last couple of live streams, everything went wrong. The motor fell on the floor. Believe it or not, I have a clamp to the bench. I spoke about it falling to the floor and it did. So here we go. Much smoother. Obviously, the glass is still going to move, but if you look at the water, it's sort of just a slight wee bubble, wee ripple. Big difference. This will make a big difference to the noise in Chippy. So we stop it. So before, when the motor was ramping down, there was much more of a wobble or shake within the bench. The bench would have went, you know, side to side, sloppy, the way it is now, but worse. But when the motor's running now at full speed, you can see that the vibration's not as bad, and the motor will be running at full speed when it's turned on, because it's not a variable speed motor. So I'm going to rate up my welder here, my tools, everything, and I'll do another demonstration and a wee discussion before I wrap up. So if anybody has any questions, do ask. I will explain it again, or whatever you want to know. So a bit of paper needs to come off. I'm going to put away my tools. So let me see where it stops. So it stopped at 4 o'clock, right? If I go again, will I see where it stops? I'll go on here. $11 o'clock. That's good. Right. See the way it stops and doesn't go like this again? The way it was. So I'm just going to read up my stainless stuff here. My washers and my bolts need to go back into the compartments. So initially I started with that weight there. And I knew it was going to be too heavy. But it was just an experiment. Nearly done. Nearly done. So what do we go again? So close to quarterly. Three o'clock. Oh dear, knackered. There's the oil butter. The iron's gone, windings are gone. You can't hear it there, but whew. Right. See, do you see? You probably won't be able to see that because live streams, the quality is terrible at times. But you might be able to see it. Right, I'm going to read up this place a wee bit more. Oh dear. Put the welder away. Oh dear. Make sure this is tight, not turn it on. Whew. Am I going the right way, clockwise? So if you look at the water on the bench, what do you see when it settles? So it's not jumping about like a, it's just a nice wee ripple there. Well, it's smooth, but it's just a wee dimple in it. Actually, phone doesn't fall in that propeller. So the imbalance is corrected. As good as we're going to get it. Off the washer, the marker, on the trick. So I'm just breaking down more of this fat on it. Let's get a wee paintbrush. So that's me ready to go to the chippy, right? But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get a paintbrush and maybe clean this a wee bit more. There's not thick fat on it, but there's a wee sort of texture on it here and there and everywhere, look. But the WD-40 tends to break it down. It's only at one side of the fins, as you can see, but it's the screwdriver has most of it scraped off. I was going to blast this, but I didn't bother because it's just too much work. I had to do this. I just didn't have the time. Now, this needs to be installed ASAP tonight. Or it was meant to be done last week. But I got there in the end. So what do we see again? It's going to rain us. On me. On that motor. Get no harm in it. So I'm going to take tools with me to batter this in a wee bit if the weight's going to hit the housing where this circle sits close to, the inlet of the blower. So we don't want the pointer at 7 o'clock because that's where it stopped at the start of the video. Well, in the middle. Now it's randomly stopping here and there and everywhere. Well, it's at 8 o'clock there roughly. Just by chance it stopped there. Right. Right, I'll reel up this rubbish. So stop there again. Oh, it's the same pace again, that's strange. Might be still a wee bit of an unbalance there, but the weight helps. You can tell by the rhythm of the water, the vibration. There you go. Well, 6. Right, I'm going to end the live stream in 2 minutes. I have to go and get install this now. So if it doesn't come back downhill, which it doesn't, that's grand. It's stopping more times at the bottom than it is at the top, but or is it? It's better than it was anyway. It's going to stop at the bottom again, though. No, maybe not. 10 o'clock nearly. It's definitely a lot smoother now anyway. the bench is not as shaky. There we go, look. 2 o'clock. Right, everyone, I'm going. I have to go and install this now. So, thank you for watching. I'm all done. My tools are right up. I need to take this off here. Well, I'll run it for one final time. Perfect. So if I put my hand here, not the propeller, no fingers left. So it's not too bad. Good job. So that will save the bearings in the motor, believe it or not. It'll be much more effective running too. So if I stop this, if I get my head stuck in it, see where it stops this time. Here the centrifugal switch. Backing off. So that's it, everyone. We'll see where it stops and I'll end it later. Well, mate. I need to go to the toilet. Right, let's see. Have to go to the Chippy too to install it. So I would like that mark to come up to the top more. But I still think that we might actually bring out the TIG welder and put another one on. Or see that hole there where I welded it. I might fill that hole. That would help. That would benefit, you know. The extra weight. Come on, go up the top. Go up the top. See, it's way stopping at 7. But see, if I plug or fill that hole, I might bring the TIG welder out, you know, fill that. So I never had it the last week, so it's not going to make much of a difference if it doesn't get it tonight. So I'll see where this white pointer stops. Look. See, it's stopping too many times at the bottom still. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get the welder out again. Because it's not pleasing me yet. I'll go to the toilet first. Oh dear. There, stopping. See the way it's going to the bottom again? 6 o'clock. It's stopping more times at the bottom than it is at the top. 7 out of 10. There's still an imbalance there. But do you know something? Do you see if the thing's running smoother? Should I touch it? See, I'm in a bit of a predicament here now. Do I leave it alone or do I get the welder out? See the way it's up at the top now, so we'll start counting, right? So that's above the horizontal line if I was to draw a line here, right? So that's 1 out of 10, right? What do you see this? We'll count them. Now, if it gets 4 out of 10, the white pointer to the top, I'm not touching it. So that there is 1-1, right? 1-1. If I get 4 to the top, I'll not touch it. But if I want to get 1 to the top or 2 or 3, I'm going to bring a welder out and fill that hole to add more weight. I use a 2.4 filler rod. So there we go again. I can see it. I think I can see the whoosh, you know, it's still on it. So I'm going to go again, right? So that's 2 to the bottom, 1 to the top. 2 to the bottom, 1 to the top, right? Maybe I should have kept 2 on it. Shouldn't have took a welder in. What do we see? Right there's... Look, you can see it going down to the bottom again, the weight. So that's 3 to the bottom and 1 to the top. Why is that doing that now, but I wasn't doing it a minute ago? Or half an hour ago. I think it was better with 2 washers on it, you know. Could put another one beside it. So what's that? See the way it's going slow and it always goes to the bottom still? So what? Was that 3 to the bottom and 1 to the top? I'm gonna pull a welder out. Or I'll get a cable tie. Where do you see us? If that's 4, if that's gonna land at 4, I have to do something different here. It's not, is it? It is. You'll see that there, the way it keeps going to the bottom. That's gonna create that vibration within the motor. I know it's better, but it was better than that. Well, I got a cable tie. I am, man, I know. Ah, the welder out again. Ah. See, that's playing with my mind now. So it is. That's pleasing me. So I might add a washer or I might add weld. We'll see what it does when I get a cable tie and another washer. Doesn't think I'll be doing this again. Right. So bear with me a minute. I need to get to this. So what I'm going to do here, right, is I'm going to spin this 3 more times. If that white tape's to the bottom, I'm not happy with it. That's strange the way it's been acting different now. But you see, I only tried it twice with 1 washer on it. But when I done it with 2 washers, the thing was far better. So look, that white mark's to the bottom too many times. If it goes to the bottom once more, well, my mind's made up. I'm modifying it again. Wasn't expecting to do it, I was expecting to go and fit it, but... So, as you can see, it's at 8 o'clock. So, what I'm going to do first, right, is I'm going to cable tie this washer directly on top of this one. And hopefully it doesn't rain, because it's going to wreck everything. Wreck everything. So, let's do this again. Do you know something? I done that wrong. I need a smart there. I don't know my other one, mate. It's getting very dark out here. But, do you know something? Do you see if I have to stand out in this rain now to fix this? I'm going to. So what am I doing wrong here? The washer needs to go on the glass. Isn't that right? Yeah. That makes no difference, does it? It's just the angle it's at. Right. So, can't believe I'm doing it again. So I'm going to cut this to keep the wish down, right? I'm going to spin her again now. There's the rain, right? But I have to stay out. So, what do you see where it stops now? I'm not happy with that. I might put the washer beside it, you know, to the left side of it. So if that pointer comes uphill now, see the way it's at 6 now, right? But that might be just random stopping at the bottom, right? So what do we see this? Right. It's still couldn't be still going to the bottom. But them 2 washers have started to fall. I mightn't bother touch it, you know, if it's running, right? If it's running smoother than it was. What's the point? I'll start it up in 2 seconds with that cable tie on it. But I think the last time I run with 2 washers, it was smooth before I removed the fat. Right, see the way the pointer's still at the bottom? And that's strange. Like the weight doesn't shift on it. Standing out here in the middle of a storm, nearly. Six o'clock. Right, I'm going to start counting out of 10 this time. I might run the motor first before I do that. Camera's going mad around there. 6 o'clock? No way. Why is it going there? Right, I'm going to run it. Put my coat on. Right, set that there. Start that to see how it runs, right? Now, the washer might flip, not one. Right. What does the way it looks like? What about the coat on? Oh dear, dear, dear. Right, let's go again. Make sure that strap's tight. Do you know something? It does run smooth with the 2 washers too. It definitely does. Like, see when I put my hand here, hold on, I'll zip this up to the strangers. You see when I put my hand here? And the water here? What is it really though? What do you see that? The glass, look at the water in the glass, the top of how it's tight. You see the way it's like sort of between a limit, lower limit and higher limit. And the height of the water between that limit's about 10 mil. So what do you see that? When I remove the washer now, do you see? That there looks like it's wobbling more with 2 washers. And it's slowing down. What do we see? I might need to cut. No, I can't cut it because I'll cut it and just get more cable ties. Because it's raining now, it makes everything difficult. Right, let's try this again, right? No. No, there's a big difference there. Look how even the water looks compared to the way it did. So 2 washers is no good. 2 washers is no good. Much better. It's not like a, what way would I describe this? Like a rough beach, a rough sea. That's it. People, I don't have to do any more work. But it's strange the way it keeps going to the bottom, isn't it? What about stop? What do we see? Isn't that strange the way it keeps going to the bottom? But you know, if I was to add, you can tell there the motor's not even doing that. Nowhere near as bad. And the bench is not shaking. So, I'm happy with that, you know. I'm not going to touch it now. They end up getting shocked out here in the rain too. Right. That's it, everyone. So, thank you for watching, and thank you for all the likes. And thank you for the support. Deck art. And more interesting projects will follow very soon. This is not a project. This is just a repair from a winding sport out in this motor. So this is 1980 or something, 1970. It's very old, 1980 maybe. Well, this is a newer model, but it's sort of it's Chinese. Oh dear, look who it is. He's away on. Right, so this is a Chinese model. 5/8 shaft, single phase 4-pole, 1425 RPM. So 240 volts. So I'm going to go now and fit this to where it belongs. What I done here is I set the height to this bracket. I'm not using this flange, I'm using the foot. And I set the height so that the shaft was centre of this plate on the air-to-air live stream. I need to make sure nothing's out in the rain here that will get damaged, but that motor's alright, it's sealed up well, but it'll be going on now in the back of the van. But that's it, everyone. Thank you for watching. It's a long live stream, probably one of the longest. I will be continuing my other projects on Saturday. projects that are completely different from anything else out there. So my phone's soaking. So thank you for watching, everyone, and goodbye. Have a good week. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you. My phone's soaking. A good phone. Bye, everyone. I'll see where it stops first. Stop at the top. Stop at the top. Stop at the top. No can do, it says. Oh! Oh! Stop! There you go. It's a wee Brit. Okay, so even though it does stop at the bottom more times than the top, the washer, the weight helps. So thank you for watching, everyone. Don't forget to subscribe and like, and goodbye.